Alright, so I'm bringing this game. I lost. I feel like I played like pretty well. I'm not really comparing myself to enemy jungler in this scenario, but I was definitely more impactful in the early part of the game, and I feel like very deeply that my team let me down. There were definitely some small things I would argue that I definitely messed up, and there mostly what I'm looking for is maybe some opinions on like how I could have like came up with a better game plan and things like that, because I feel like at least for a while it was really solid. So anyway, I'm gonna just fast forward to like a lot like through a lot of stuff just so to like save time. Initial like beginning part of the game, I'm just thinking to myself like bot lane's really hard to gank for. Vayne Lulu's not good gank assist against Nash and Nautilus. It's gonna be hard to kill. Mid lane's obviously like LeBlanc Fizz, so unless they like scrap a lot early, then it's just not really gonna work out. So I'm gonna like look to play around top. Yasuo, Yorick, like I don't think one person's gonna have the shove on the other, and I know that Yasuo's like to play aggressive, so I feel like going top would be like the best case scenario. So I do like the standard three camp clear and then look to gank whatever. So I'm just gonna fast forward. All right, just okay, fast forward. So I'm on red, and then after the red buff, okay, I head top. So here's my logic. I have two things. The very first thought that I had was this lane was shoved, but it wasn't like out of range to possibly EQ out of this bush and hit him, depending on the scenario. Maybe Yorick would greed, maybe he would go for a trade back and I could get him. Also, I know that Nunu is gonna be Nunu's like rush level 3 type of ganker, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that he didn't show up on this ward sooner than he did, which I will explain why. So I come in here, right, pretty much as I explained, I'm looking for it. But the lane's like really pushed, and I wait for a little bit to see if he might greed for one of these minions, but it just doesn't look like he is, especially because Yasuo posture is like really aggressive. So I started to port there because I did not see Nunu come until he walked by the ward course. And it was kind of like what I was saying. Like I expect Nunu to do like a level 3 rush gank, but he did the Raptors first, so he was just like behind. So that's why I started my base, because it was like I feel like Nunu should have been there by then, but he wasn't. So I figured maybe he just wasn't getting ganked or whatever. But then of course like Nunu does come by this, and I stop my port, and then it happens. And I want to keep in mind that like when I'm playing this game, like when I'm playing as King Jarvan, because I pretty much only play King Jarvan, is like I'm not trying to get the kills. But in this scenario, like, of course, like, the only way we kill this guy is by my red buff burn, so it just happens, right? So I shove the wave. Okay, next thought process is this. Like, the crabs have just spawned, and I see him here, so I'm going to obviously go for this crab and then look to do a double crab. Mid lane fight breaks out. Okay, I'm pretty far. By the time I get there, this is already done, right? So this is already done. Now the question becomes, do I stop doing the crab to go over there to try and kill her faster? Now I don't do that because she has flash and she'll just walk out the bot side if I try to get her. So I just figure it's worth me finishing this crab. If not, that Nunu knows based off my CS count that I didn't do the crab and he gets a crab, and I didn't want to do that. So I look for an EQ flash combo if she doesn't like instantly W or flash, but she just does, so that's fine. I'm not really upset. I didn't really think I'd kill her anyway. So then I drop ward here in case Nunu's coming. So I will point out that I didn't exactly know where Nunu was going. Usually when junglers like hold a lane, in most cases, unless it's like really obvious where like if blue buff was up or something, like they're gonna go there after holding top. But usually I notice that junglers like a lot will hold for a couple reasons. One is like this guy did some clear from bot to top, and so I would imagine that he only has one camp top, and he's probably on a decent amount of gold after like holding the wave, and being by the top tower is really far from the rest of the map. So logistically, it makes more sense to base from top if you want to head to the bot side of the map than to walk there, as opposed to like if you were here, it'd make more sense to walk to here. You know what I mean? It's like way less travel time. But if you have the gold, like this is a pretty good time to base. But he doesn't do that. He goes for the counter invade, which I didn't exactly think he was doing. I thought he might be bot, which is why I just instantly head for the crab. Okay, so like at this point, it's like the bots are heading back, so I don't really look for gank here. It's like obvious that they're basing and they're safe. All right. So now I waste like 5 seconds walking here, honestly, just in case they weren't basing. But yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That was just a waste of time. So now I'm thinking to myself like, all right, do I clear the camps or do I base? Right? I'm on how much gold here? 12:34. The way I see it, like mid's resetting, top just got back to lane, and bot's about to push and reset. So I feel like this is just the opportunity to farm. This will get me to 5, and I haven't cleared any of my other camps yet, so I feel like I should probably start getting them on the reset. It's 4:30, so yeah. So I'm just gonna fast forward to right here. Okay, so now I killed the wolves. So now the question becomes like, where do I go from here, right? So like in my mind, I see that bot lane, they both have their sons on the enemy team, and my guys have used some of theirs. Going bot right now is not going to probably get me a kill, and mid's resetting, so I'm obviously not going to go mid. So Nunu tries to gank top, and Yasuo like very easily survives. And I'm like, okay, it just makes the most amount of sense for me to go check my top camps and potentially clear them, and then look for a play from there. So that's what I end up doing. Now I'm going to show you this play top lane because I'm really upset about it. Nunu does this cheeky like walk the bush, fake base kind of crap, but Yasuo is outplaying them, which is obviously like really fortunate. And he could have walked right here. He could just walk away, no problem, or whatever. Nope, but he's got to go back in, and he's got to be a hero. How he even ate that second tower is beyond me. So now here's the thing. Now the enemy team has gotten 2 kills. One solo kill mid. LeBlanc just flat out killed him, and now they have 2 kills where Yasuo pretty much inted. So I'm not saying that Nunu hasn't been doing nothing. I mean, he's been doing stuff, but I mean, it's just like crazy that the enemy team has 2 kills when they shouldn't. In my mind, like solo kill is kind of inexcusable, and top easily could live what he did. So it was a good bait by the Fizz here, and I flashed for this. And that's like one of those things. Like I want to give Fizz the kills. I want to give my carries the kills, but red buff just killed her. It was what it was. Okay. Now I keep going, and I know he's walked back to mid, and I figured that these might actually just still be level 1 because I wasn't keeping good track of like his guess count, and I don't think like Nunu's usually. I don't know. I guess Nunu's can do the Raptors on the first clear. He clears them easily, but I guess it was just something that it escaped my mind. Now I go for this gank bot for the reason that I know that Nunu was clearing my ping, so I would get here like way in advance. This would leave them with 2 options, right? Like move back into my team to avoid getting hit by the EQ, or get hit by the EQ combo, and we kill him anyway before Nunu gets here. And then with Ashe dead, I just don't think they're gonna have enough damage to kill like the 3 of us, especially because one of us is a Lulu. So Nunu's needs a gank, he's coming, but like you see how far he is still. He's already pushing his snowball, but I mean the play's pretty much done at this point. By the way, I gave Aiden that kill, right? And I knocked up the. And you didn't see it, but I knocked up the. When Bane was killing Ashe, I knocked up the Nautilus, forced him to flash. Okay. So now my thought process is, do I help them push? I decide not to because I think they're gonna be able to get to the tower just because like how far like these minions are. Like obviously I looked at my own team. I didn't think that they needed me to do that. Maybe we get like 1 plate, but it's still full health. So just pushing this to tower and taking 1 plate is just like staying for a long time. I think like they should just push the wave and base. So now it's like, do I base myself and head somewhere, or do I get my bot camps? And like, I think getting the bot camps is the right call here. I mean, blue buff's coming up, and I have all 3 camps, so it's just like a good amount of gold. This is on a reset, so it's not like much is happening mid, and bot's gonna look for a reset. So the only thing I'd be doing is basing to hit the top earlier, and I just don't think that is really the option. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, I can play that bug. So she guesses where I am. It's not like that. It's not rocket science, but she's looking traffic. But I'm a G and I live. Fizz comes to react, but he's level 5 to level 6. If he wasn't so bad, he'd be level 6 also, and she'd be dead, right? But he's already died 2 times. Then this happens, and he just stands there, and I don't know. So this is the part. This is the part that like it becomes kind of difficult to know what to do. So I know that Nunu's here, and I kind of am not sure if because he threw the snowball. But we don't have vision here, so I'm not sure if he's just gonna walk and go and get the blue. And I was afraid that might be the case, and I didn't want to walk bot just to do nothing, right? But that might have been wrong, just because of what's about to happen next, which is he's gonna going gank bot, right? Now, what I'll say about this scenario, right, is like if I was walking to the blue, I would only be about here. So I'm not saving them from this gank. But I guess I could go and make sure they don't get dragon, or look for trying to help them out if somehow they survive. It's not looking good. I mean, you don't know what happens yet, but you can already tell from this position that like it's not going to go well. So best I could do here is ping, and I could have notified them like a little bit earlier that the Nunu was here, right? Because I did ping and I didn't say anything. Of course, that's all I could have done. We need my bot lane to have some sense of like map awareness, because I can't tell them literally how to do everything. But yeah, I could have pinged and they could have said something. So that's what I think about that scenario. So now as this game's happening, here's like a slight mistake I would say. I go for the red buff first. I probably didn't want to do this. I probably wanted to go first to. She dies, by the way. But yeah, I probably shouldn't have done the red buff. I probably should have walked straight to the camps first. That's what I should have done. But you know, seeing the new bot, I go immediately and look to take their camps. Now, here's the deal. Okay. I need to go back like a little bit so you have a better understanding of also about my decision not to take Rift Herald and so when I blast cone over the wall, like right, it's definitely looking like when I'm blast coning over the wall, it looks like I could have just done the Rift Herald, but here's why I don't do that. Here's the top lane. This guy walks up and takes a terrible turn, okay? Which you'll find out in a second, because he's the main. So he pretty much just gets chunked out here. So here's what's happening. He's looking like he's gonna die. Here's me, right? I just blast gunned over the wall, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe there's a chance I could save him. Maybe he's gonna like somehow juke this guy, walk over here, and I EQ and knock him up, and we both walk away. Obviously not the case. And I walk over this ward, which I don't like know for sure is warded, but it's definitely within the possibility. And he dies. So now at this point, I'm thinking to myself, going for the Rift Herald here would be pretty suspect with top being dead. And I know that all of his camps are here. So I decided to go for the camps. And as you will see, I'm just going to fast forward through this. It's not important, but I go for the blue. They get the dragon, right, because of the gank on bot. Like I knew that, so like red, I took red, and then after that they walked to dragon as I blast went over and started walking here, right? I knew that was gone. So it's like I said, like if he's bot side, then what's my place? Gank top, gank bot, or gank mid, or go steal enemy camps, right? And like top was dead, can't do that. Mid was really shoved at the time, so like walking here would be pretty much like standing here and waiting and anticipating that she's going to shove back and engage, right? Not completely unreasonable to expect that to happen, but ganking LeBlanc is always risky business in the sense of like she's very hard to kill, and he has all three camps here, so it's like I think all three camps is really worth it. And I didn't think that Yorick would push the tower and go to the Rift Herald. I thought he was just going to base. I mean, the level 8 Rift Herald is actually pretty insanely early for a solo laner. So, I mean, kudos to him. I guess I don't... The thing is, I don't have any wards on Scanner, so I don't really know how I can, like, stop that from happening, other than trying to go and take it myself. If I had done that, obviously, it would have been even more catastrophe, because if I had started this after the top lane play, right, if I had walked from here, and the reason why he took Rift Herald is because after shoving the tower, he thought to go check Rift Herald to make sure I wasn't doing it, right? Because he saw me on this ward. So if I was indeed doing the Rift Herald, I mean, maybe from the blast one over the wall to here and start doing it, he wouldn't have known. But had I done it post trying to help him, this would have been bad. And so he doesn't know that I'm here because I don't have wards. And I feel that even if he was like right behind me, that this gank would probably still work out, right? And also I feel confident that usually, since Yorick had soloed it, he's either doing one of two things. One, he's going back to top lane to make sure this doesn't crash, but I mean that's not actually necessary with what this wave is. Or two, he used an empowered base and he's just going to base because he's on a lot of gold. He just got a solo kill. He shoved the wave to tower and he killed the rift. So I figure he's not going to come, and that was right. So, but I don't, do not get it. Did I miss a gank? I might have missed a gank. I did. I don't. No, I don't know. I don't think I missed the gank. No, I didn't. Okay. So from here, um, I'm like troubled that we didn't get either of the objectives. Like it's a feels bad as jungler. Usually you get one, you know. But this was just like pretty easy. This guy just overstayed, so it's just an easy game, right? And like I was saying, I'm trying to give the kills over to my carries. And Vayne actually later, when she becomes incredibly toxic when wins over, she's like telling me we lost her guys 20 kills and blah blah blah. But I mean, I already gave her 2 kills, so I don't really know what she's talking about. I literally gave as many kills over to the carries as I possibly could, you know. It's just like, and I'm only on 2 right now. Like the red smite like slash red, red smite kill on the LeBlanc. I mean, that was what it was. Try to get the fizz in the top lane I had to take, so that also was what it was. Okay, so after I do the bot play, I'm just gonna go and grab the crab. So now here's the thing, right? Since I showed bot when the top laner had Rift Herald, I knew that it was possible that he could Rift top. But in my mind, there's a trade-off here, because if I stay top to make sure that York never drops the Rift Herald, then I'm camping a lane for a guy that is 0-2, had suicidal tendencies, and is so significantly weaker than New York that all we're going to be doing is essentially playing damage control while the rest of the map goes to shit. So I figure it's just better to trade what's happening on the map. So like, yeah, he'll drop Rift, but I mean, we just killed bot, and we're going to get some bot pressure and all that. That's what's going through my mind. Yeah, so this happens. Let me just show you this. Watch this. Watch this greatness. Boom. Dead. Just insane. Like, the levels of bad that you have to be is just insane. It's just like my hard work, my quote-unquote hard work of ganking and trying to get lanes ahead, thrown out the window because Vayne doesn't know how to base. Like, it's just insane. Like, at this point in the game, I'm already getting a little annoyed because it's 6-5, right? Like Nunu's done stuff. He has a base, but like Nunu's done stuff, but he hasn't been really converting anything, right? He got 1 gank on the bot lane, and he got a dragon. Like, that was good for sure. But other than that, like, there's no reason why my top laner should be 0-2. There's no reason why my mid laner should be 0-2, and there's no reason for my Vayne to have died there. So the enemy team has gotten so much gold off of my laners literally just doing nothing. Like, yeah, so like it's crazy and so disheartening at this point for the enemy team to be even remotely close to us in gold, right? Like, this score right now should be 5-1 our team, and then the enemy team has the dragon. That's what should be happening right now, and we should be like chilling like villains, but it's just not the case. So I'm already getting like really irritated because I feel like I'm like being really proactive on the map, right? And also, by the way, I have the most vision to score, but okay, it's just by 1. But I'm just saying, like in the game I have the most vision to score. Alright, so this was kind of weird. The reason why I didn't like from here to mid is because like obviously like nothing, we're not gonna get, excuse me, anything from this. Right, like I could walk from here to here. LeBlanc's coming to mid. It's a 2-on-2. Fizz is weak, like, right, like, so. I mean, he just flashed and gets out. It was really stupid for Fizz to not realize that me and LeBlanc were in the river. I should have pinged. That's about all I could have done. Or I could waste my time by walking here and doing nothing. But no, I feel like that was a waste. Okay. While this was happening, okay, so sorry. Just like here's one mistake I made. I would argue. After the LeBlanc thing, I take the blue buff, and about halfway through the blue buff, I realized that they're probably going to die for Lulu, right? And I could have just left the blue buff earlier to come here. So this was a mistake, but I don't get punished for it, and in the future, maybe I will. So Lulu plays as well, and does what Lulu does, and gets the kill on him. And then I come in for an easy kill on this, right? And here's another kill that I get, where like obviously I can't really give it over to anybody because it's me. And the only reason why Ash manages to kill Lulu is because she flashed. Okay? I'd say all in all not bad though, because they went for a dive on Lulu. It was a 2-for-1 and they used Ash Helms, like, or at least Ash Flash. You know what I mean? So it's pretty good. From here, I decide that I'm gonna go and farm. Okay, like I can. He gets a solo kill. Like, bless his heart. I can go walk straight up to mid. Not really gonna do much, or I can go for a base and head top. But at this point, this dude is 0-2 and getting completely pooped on. So I feel like just basing faster to get the top lane faster is not really like worth the time. So I'll just guarantee gold compartments. And I'm trying to be more aware of the timings on Dragon and Rift Herald and stuff. And like Rift Herald's not the next objective, so I feel I don't need to go there either because I need to start actually giving a shit about the objectives since we lost the first two. Go for a base. All right, so my logic here is this, okay, and this is another upsetting moment. After I base, I walk back to bot lane and go for like another like repeat gank of sorts, which you'll see soon. It's not an option, but it could have been, right? And I didn't choose that as my default option, as was, but I don't exactly remember what I was thinking. So let me see what's going on here. I think okay. Let me point out to why it was horrible, but I think my thought process was that bot lane was gonna get a shove onto tower, and that I could just get, yeah, I don't know. I actually don't exactly remember. But, okay, let me show you why this was bad. Okay. He's hitting this ward. Fuck. Nautilus is hitting this ward, watch. Nautilus is hitting this ward as Nunu comes in, right? So we have, watch, he's gonna hit again. Full vision that Nunu's here. And what do they do? Watch this, watch this. Are they gonna step backwards? Are they gonna walk the bush or try to hide? What are they gonna do? No, they're gonna step forward and completely ignore the fact that there's a giant fucking snowball heading at them. So you already know where this is going. Now, I think Vayne did the right call here by essentially doubling down until he picked up before they died. Because after walking forward, they were just fucked, right? I mean, there was no... You know, like, in a normal circumstance, what they really should have done is, like, not be completely fucking blind to the fact that Nunu's rolling right in here, and then start running backwards, and then you can either condemn the Nunu to avoid the snowball, or you can polymorph him, or do any of these various things. And the enemy bot lane was so far away from our bot lane that I think it would be incredibly difficult for them to actually kill the bot lane unless Nautilus hit a flash hook or something like that. So I think that was really stupid. Alright, so bot lane dies. Now I think to myself, where can I make a play? Can I go top? Can I go mid? Can I steal enemy camps? I go here in the hopes that Yorick will be back and walk up to the minion line like really soon. Like, yeah, the Yasuo was shoving, but Yasuo shoved a little harder than I thought he was going to. And he also shouldn't have been shoving because he knew I was there, but alright, such is life. So what do I do instead? Go and steal his camps. Alright. Now, at this point, LeBlanc has started heading up the river, and Fizz is pinging. So it's come to my attention that LeBlanc's heading top. So let me look at the situation. I can leave the Gromp instantly right now. Right. Yasuo's getting ran down. So here's what ends up happening. He gets hit by this horrible shit, right? And I stick with the Gromp. I was assuming he was just going to leave after I saw him disengage, but that's not the case. And he gets trapped. He's just fucked. There makes no sense. Now, there no longer makes any sense for me to hit the top lane because he's just dead, right? So that's why I just base. Even if I win, I couldn't save him. So, I mean, it's probably for the better. But it was something that was on my mind, you know? Like, I have to make sure. So I base. Instead of going for... Here's the thing. I don't go for the Raptors because I know the Dragon's coming soon. That's why I base there. Okay. And I head straight to bot. This guy gets gamed because he's not the brightest. But he lives. He's Fizz.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
And they really overchase on the Lulu. I fast forwarded, but it was like really telegraphed what they were doing. So I pretty much just got an easy counterplay here. And yeah, we just kind of kicked them. You know, the thing is, I didn't really mention this, but even, or like not that much, even like after that gank on bot lane where they got hit by the snowball for no reason, I was already feeling really discouraged. Like a lot of this game, just because of like also what's happening in recent history, my solo queue experience, I've been getting really discouraged because this is a game that I'm playing and I don't feel like should be 10 to 11 kills. You know what I mean? Like at this point in the game, like the Nunu's involved in two actual good ganks. And when I say two good ganks, I mean the rewards were good. One gank, like, absolutely should just not have really net him anything, but I mean, here we are, right? And you know, top's been killed 3 times, and mid's been killed twice, and like bot died in extra time when they really shouldn't have, so it was just like kind of feels bad. Now after I get the dragon, I do the classic like wait between the towers and kill coming back. Ash actually gets really suspicious of this, so she decides to face check and die faster. So that was pretty blessed. And then when you get the tower, so like I'm feeling like a little better about the game at like this at this current moment, right? Like I go from like super discouraged that like the game's even this close to like this moment of alright, we got to check, we got a tower, like game is possible. This happens. I mean, is what it is. Doesn't have any wards. Kind of just yellow shoves. Now, this is where like the discouragement starts happening again because to this point, no one's really been talking in the chat other than like game-related things. But Vayne decides at this point that since the tower's gone, she's gonna pull the classic Vayne and continue to int, which is really tragic because I have dedicated a good amount of time to bot lane. So. And at this point, it's funny because, like, as you can see, like I've given over a lot of kills. I've had to take a lot of kills, but you know, she tells me that later we lost because I took too many kills, which is a joke because you'll see that she dies 9 times and she runs it down bot lane over and over and over and she keeps dying, like the classic Vayne. So we pretty much lose from here on out because our team just keeps dying. There's more to show though, but not much more. Like I'm not gonna show you the whole replay because at a certain point it stops being watchable. This is just a simple like menu guy can really sad. Like I had like here's another case, right? Like I can't give that kill to Yasuo. Like, I have to take it, you know. Like if I don't flash over this wall instantly, he can snowball and just like run away. Like yeah, maybe you hit this blast cone perfectly here. I don't know. I mean it's just like quick decision making. That was just like a really tough call, so I just kill him. And she's doing Vayne stuff, right? She's shoving by herself against the Nautilus Ash and then gets initiated on die. It's crazy. Didn't think that would happen. Alright, but we kill the Nunu, so I call for the Rift Herald. LeBlanc tries to pick at us, but she doesn't really get much. Meanwhile, Yasuo's just getting fucked up top lane for like no reason. And yep. We got it. Okay, so here's the thing. Vayne is dying, Vayne's starting to get toxic. Top's behind. I'm annoyed that we're not as ahead as I think we should be due to the fact that my laners keep dying. And I do end up making like a pretty stupid play in the somewhat near future. Let's see. Okay, so logic here, right? My top laner just died, so I'm not going top. Simple as that. Camps aren't there, whatever. He's not the he is not and has not been the focus for a very long time. Okay. I did do a pretty troll EQ over this wall to the wolf out of, and so I could have gone here faster. This is for sure. I don't know how much better this could have gone. Maybe I could have killed the Ashe. That's what I'm thinking. So, my bad there. It's like one of those little things that I don't think was the biggest deal in this particular game, but in the future could be pretty bad, so I shouldn't have done that. Vayne's, here she goes again. She's dead. She died. Alright. So I do this, here's the stupid play. I actually wanted to drop the Rift here, and I was about to, and then this auto attack stopped me from getting the like Rift off because like it reset the 3-second timer to like not place it or whatever. And then I walk up to auto attack the turret because I'm a fucking idiot, and then Nunu comes and yeah, this was just really bad. I don't really talk about this. This is like when the toxicity starts to ramp up. Of course, this is my first death, which is like really stupid, but the toxicity starts to ramp up at this point because now the Vayne's inted twice, so everyone's like, you need to stop inting. Lulu wants to know why I did what I did, but honestly, like, I wanted to drop the Rift Herald and get this tower. Like, there was not going to be another time to like really get much off of this. Like, Vayne's inting, not realistic to Rift here anyway. This dude's just getting fucked, so it's like, I might as well just get the mid tower if I can. But of course, I derped really hard. I don't think there's much more to show in this particular game. Watch him die. Wow, this is blue buff. You know, maybe I should have just walked from base to mid or something and helped them ARAM. I mean, it's not. I think ARAM is stupid. So I started walking to this Gromp, but I noticed that the fight broke out, right, and that they're chasing Fizz, so I don't go for the Gromp. So I do actually react here. This is just... Yes, no, it's pretty good, and then they go on a nice little epic chase here. Help throw out. Help throw out. Like another case, I can't get the kill over. You know what I mean? But see here, you can see that I walk away because I want him to kill. You know what I mean? Like I left to make sure he would get it. So like now we can drop drift, and this is pretty much the last good play of the entire game because I'll show you on flip when they get back. Zip out or dragon whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like let's pause here. We don't get like another kill for the rest of the game pretty much. Like let's see. Here's Vayne dying. Here's Vayne dying again. Here's oh, okay. This was like one of those instances that was just weird. I was like, Ashe was in my jungle and just came out. I don't even know why she was there. Or she was okay, so she walked around. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, there's not much to show here. Like, just okay, Fizzed. Yeah, it's just a lot of anything. Anyway, that's that. Feels bad. Honestly, like I just like the way I see it, like this game. Okay, like I just assumed that wow, York in the air. I just assumed that you know if I play solid and like we got top ahead early, and if I play solid and react to what was on the map, like we could win the game. But it was like very clear that like my laners were dying of their own accord like way too much, and so I began to think that probably the only way that this could have been a different game is if I had done pretty much a circle gank type of strategy, which would have been the bot lane, right? Because top was just too far gone, and mid's also too far gone. Guy died twice, and LeBlanc's hard to gank. I did spend most of my efforts in the bot lane, you know, and I wouldn't call it the full on circle gank because I definitely did not just circle gank the bot lane, but I definitely focused most of my efforts there to get them ahead. And Vayne did get her 2 items like very quickly, but she could just proceeded to run it down bot lane over and over and dying. So the lane that I actually did get ahead, who's supposed to be our carries, just decided that they weren't going to do that. And so it just feels weird that like especially just in the beginning of the game with getting the gank mid and getting the gank top and getting the gank spot, like just getting every lane like at least ahead in like golden experience is just like didn't turn into anything because yes, because they just kept dying, you know, like in silly ways. Like the one gank bot where I took a base after going here, like I'm not gonna blame the bot lane for it, but we only had Vayne dying. Other than that, it was like okay, Nunu snowballed way past here to this point, and they kept moving forward and died. He got sold 2 times, and he got solo killed way too many times. Like yeah, Nunu was putting pressure on the map, but I mean, like even at this point in the game, we're up two dragons, and we got a rift herald. So like I even got the objectives, you know. So I don't know. Feels bad.